It's mailbag time here on the Raiders Report, and a friendly reminder that all these questions that you're about to see being answered, they were answered on our live show on December 5th. You got to use hashtag Raiders or Super Chat to get those questions, comments on the show, and I love doing these mailbags because I know all the real ones are always tuned in. Speaking of real one, nah, man! Bang! Work hours have been just erratic at best, but I have to be there when management is not there to better see what happens behind the boss's back. Name of the game is management consultant. I'm the bad guy. Can't wait to see what you sent. I got the football. Dude, I'll tell you this right now. I can't wait to see what you get once you do end up getting what I sent you, because I sent you something else on top of that. Now, man's an absolute legend in these streets, and I want y'all to spam 93 down below. Let's go to my man, Rich Wolf. Aren't we all enjoying the 49ers downfall, though? I think one of the reasons why the 49ers are losing is because of some of the big-time contracts that they paid. When you look at how that team was structured, they had a lot of depth. They had a lot of good depth, but also a lot of the people that they paid, Fred Warner, Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, Trent Williams, and they battled some injuries. They also haven't been as good as what we've seen them be in years past. So when you're paying guys that amount of money and they're not living up to the hype, and those same dudes are getting injured, and you don't have the same depth, that's what the equation is looking like right now for the San Francisco 49ers. Nathan Wolf! Bang! Let's start it off, Darnold or Love. For me personally, if I had to pick between these two quarterbacks, I know you're talking about fantasy football. I don't want to talk about fantasy because I am filming this on Thursday. So I'm going to talk about it from a real NFL standpoint. I'm still going to take Jordan Love in a real NFL game over Sam Darnold, but I wouldn't be shocked if Darnold has a good game this week going up against Kirk Cousins, going up against the Atlanta Falcons. It's kind of a revenge game for Kirk, but it's kind of a prove-it game for Sam Darnold. Let's go to Jared. What up, man? Do you think it's true Mark Davis is making the Raiders take a quarterback? I don't know why we're even asking, is this true? Because it's a fact that Mark has told people that he wants the Raiders to take a QB. This isn't a secret, right? Like, I think anybody that's watched this show for even over the past month knows Mark Davis wants the Raiders to take a QB. I think everybody around the Raiders organization knows that the Raiders want to take a quarterback, but the Raiders wanted to take a quarterback last draft. And I hate saying that I'm Team Tank, but I'm Team Tank because I know Mark Davis wants the Raiders to take a QB. Tom Brady wants the Raiders to take a QB. We need the Raiders to take a QB. I think Aidan is a stand-up dude, but I don't want to keep Aidan O'Connell as our franchise quarterback because that's going for a sacrifice punt after a 2-10 season. I need a home run swing, man. So will the Raiders draft a quarterback in round 1 of the 2025 NFL Draft? Let me know down below. This is going to be the pinned comment here on today's show. So scroll on down and give me your answer. Will the Raiders draft a QB in round 1? Yes, the Las Vegas Raiders will end up taking a quarterback in round 1. And a lot of people have asked me, well, Mitch, what happens if they win a few games? What happens if they drop down the draft order? I'm telling you this right now. This organization was desperate last season to try to go out and get Jaden Daniels, and they offered a lot to go get Jaden. They would offer up more this season, this offseason, to go get Shedeur Sanders. I think Jaden is a better quarterback than Shedeur, but the Raiders are going to get desperate this offseason. What I think could potentially also happen is maybe you see the Raiders trade back into the back end of round 1 to get another dude. But I'll tell you this, if it ain't Cam Ward, if it ain't Shedeur Sanders, I don't really want the Raiders to draft a QB, and that's coming from me. Let's go to Jonathan Martinez. How talented of a quarterback do you think Aidan could turn into with a full year of Tom Brady to help develop his skills? I would say the ceiling of a guy like Aidan O'Connell would be somebody like Kirk Cousins. And, like, you might be able to get some good games out of him. You might be able to get a few good years out of him. But I don't think that you're ever going to win a Super Bowl with Aidan O'Connell. And, like, when I say the absolute peak, I literally mean I think the peak for Aidan is what you already see out of Kirk Cousins. I think if you gave an entire offseason to Aidan to be able to develop, to be able to work with Tom Brady, that's all good and all. But, like, the Raiders aren't going to take a lot of their Tom Brady time and invest it into Aidan. If they go out and they draft a quarterback, I think a lot of that Tom Brady time is going to be going towards Tom Brady. If anything, it's just going to be Aidan. You got to deal with it for a year until Shedeur, until Cam Ward, until that next quarterback is ready to go. But to me, Aidan is a good backup quarterback in the NFL that you are hoping can be a 25 to 32 QB in the league. He's done a good job, though. Swimmy, what does AOC have to do for the rest of the season to be named starter for next season? Honestly, you'd have to win all 5 of your games, throw for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns, and I still don't think that would be enough. I don't think it would be enough because of who the head coach would potentially be next season. If it's Mike Vrabel, if it's Bill Belichick, if it's Antonio Pierce, if it's, I don't know, Deion Sanders, none of those guys are going to want Aidan O'Connell to be their starter unless the plan is to draft Shedeur, to draft a rookie, let that quarterback sit for a year, and then you hand the keys to somebody else. But even in that scenario, I still don't even think it would be Aidan O'Connell, which that might upset some people out there. It might upset some real ones, and I'm sorry if it does. I bleed silver and black, and if you bleed silver and black, hit that subscribe button, turn on those notifications, and make sure that you're not missing any of the videos that we drop every single day here on this channel. Let's go to Raider Prime. What would it be wild if we draft Shedeur and move up to take Hunter? It would be wild because it wouldn't happen. The reason why that I say that it wouldn't happen, it means that you would literally need the Raiders to kind of pull what the Houston Texans did, going up and getting C.J. Stroud, going up and get Will Anderson. I think if the Raiders did Shedeur and Hunter, that's 2 picks in the top 3. The reason why Houston was able to do it is because they had draft capital thanks to Deshaun Watson. Raiders don't have that type of draft capital. I would say the only way humanly possible for you to do this with what the Raiders have draft pick-wise and player-wise is either A, you're trading away all your draft picks. You come away with your draft as just having Shedeur, just having Travis Hunter. You give up all your draft picks and even a first-round pick next season because that's probably what it would take to get both these guys in the top 3. Or you're willing to trade a Max Crosby or you're willing to trade a Brock Bowers. I ain't willing to trade Brock. I ain't willing to trade Max Crosby. Not going to happen. We will get into more questions here in just a moment, but even though the Raiders stink, man, it doesn't mean that you got to stink out there as well. And our sponsor here, Mando, is to help the nation smell great all season long. Control body odor wear anywhere with Mando. New customers get $5 off the starter pack with our exclusive code. That equates over 40% off your starter pack. Use code chat at shopmando.com. That's shopmando.com. We got a brand new deodorant spray. The first ingredient is water, not alcohol, and it's proven to control odor for 72 hours. It's got a 360-degree spray, which is ideal for my hard-to-reach places, if you know what I'm talking about. You don't have to rub it in. It sprays on clear and dries quickly. That can work upside down, this deodorant spray, which I personally like, which can really help you kind of get into those hard-to-reach places. I'm talking the grundle, the balls, the taint. You probably didn't think that I was going to say those words, but guess what I did? Why? Because I love Mando, and I like using Mando because it's a full-body deodorant that can control my smell for 72 hours, and it's clinically proven. The link is going to be available for you all down in the comments and in the description of today's show. Mando Starter Pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice, and free shipping. As a special offer for our listeners, new customers get $5 off of a starter pack with our exclusive code. That equates to over 40% off your starter pack. So use code chat at shopmando.com. Please support the Raiders Report. Tell them that we sent you. Smell fresher, stay drier, and boost your confidence from head to toe with Mando. If you're wondering, Mitch, what's your favorite scent? The Mount Fiji scent is one of the ones that I do really like. They also got a bunch of other different scents out there as well for deodorant, the full body spray. Smell better naked. That's my tip to the guys out there. Let's go to Kazuki. Hopefully I pronounced that one right. What's the most important positions needed in the draft? This answer is going to change because free agency comes before the draft. But, we got to figure out what we're going to do at safety. Both our safeties are free agents. Got to figure out what we're doing at linebacker. Both our linebackers are free agents. But the most important positions, quarterback, offensive line. And I don't think anybody's going to debate that. Let's go to one of the GOATs, Rebel. What's up, Rebel? What's up, my man? NFL hasn't flexed us even we horrible this season. Was it for views or schedule issues? So the video that I put out yesterday on the Raiders Report, when I say yesterday, I mean on Wednesday. Sorry for those of you that aren't watching this live right now, was around that the Raiders are going to have that Monday Night Football game. It's locked in. Monday Night Football, Week 16 against the Atlanta Falcons. It's locked in because the NFL didn't flex it. They have to do it 12 days ahead of time. But it's in. They're not going to flex it. They are legally not allowed to flex it. Raiders, Falcons, Monday Night Football, it's locked in. Ryan Decker, what if we signed Fields and drafted Travis Hunter? Would you entertain that idea? No, I wouldn't entertain the idea. Because, again, to me, if you're going to go out there and draft Travis Hunter, who I think is a really good football player, that means Shedeur's off the board, and that also means that Cam Ward is off the board. I think Shedeur has got a better chance of being a great NFL QB than Justin Fields. I think Cam Ward's got a better chance of being a better NFL QB than Justin Fields. Do I think Travis Hunter's almost, like, bust-proof? I kind of do. And I think he's just that talented of a player where you're going to be able to put him at corner, you're going to be able to put him at wide receiver, and he's going to be a great player. But what I need is impact. And what do I mean by that is, hear me out. Think about how great of a rookie Brock Bowers has been. Think about how great of a rookie he's been. He has been such an amazing rookie, and nobody is upset that the Raiders took Bowers. Hell, I think if the Raiders would have taken Bowers, or if Bowers would have went off the board a little bit earlier because you couldn't get a QB, people would be okay with it. My point is, though, just because you find a great player, and Travis Hunter is a great player, I need impact. And a quarterback is going to impact the game way, way more than a guy like Travis Hunter will. You could have Travis Hunter, and we could be in this exact same situation, because when you got a guy like Crosby, you got a guy like Brock Bowers, and you're still 2-10, that screams to me, we need a quarterback. Let's go to Lost in Your Mom's 56. Mitch, would you start Aidan and let Sanders develop for a season? The only way I am on board with this is if this is what Deion wants, this is what Shedeur wants, this is what Brady wants. And even in this scenario, though, I'm not letting Aidan start. In this scenario, if I still draft Shedeur Sanders, I'm going out and I'm either trying to get a Justin Fields because I think Fields is better than Aidan. I'm going out and I'm trying to maybe get a Kirk Cousins because I think Kirk Cousins right now is better than Aidan O'Connell. And hell, I might even try to go out and, I'd probably just say it's Kirk or Justin Fields. I want Aidan to be good. I really, really do. And he had a great game this past week against Kansas City. Let's see what he looks like for these final 5 games before we even start talking about this, because I've heard some people say the Raiders could go with Aidan next season, and to me, that's nonsense. Let's go to Brad Silver. Do you think AOC is more pro-ready than Shedeur? Brad, I don't know if you're just looking into this crystal ball right here. I saw a show where Hondo Carpenter said that Aidan O'Connell is more pro-ready than any quarterback entering the draft. And honestly, I actually don't disagree with him. I don't disagree with the statement of, actually, first off, one of my biggest pet peeves is when people say that college quarterback is pro-ready. No, he's not. Until you're actually in the NFL, you don't know if that guy's pro-ready or not. It matters on fit, matters OC, head coach, talent. All these things matter in the development of your young quarterback. I think all those things matter. So is AOC more pro-ready than Shedeur and Cam Ward right now? Yes. However, though, I don't think that AOC would be more pro-ready than both of those quarterbacks if you gave them an offseason. Like, I get why people like Aidan. He's an easy guy to root for. But the ceiling level for Mr. O'Connell, it's not even close to a lot of these other quarterbacks out there. But let's play a game here, because Jugs was making this question in the background, and I was like, all right, man, this is going to be an interesting one. If you had to pick a quarterback for next season for the Raiders, would you go with Shedeur Sanders, type SS, or would you go with Aidan O'Connell, type AOC? Who would lead to more wins for the Raiders, Shedeur or Aidan? My answer is Shedeur Sanders. Let's go to IThat. What do you think we could get for the number 1 pick in this draft once we get it? Well, I wouldn't say once we get it, because Jacksonville, they don't have Trevor Lawrence anymore, and I think the Raiders will be favored in that Jags game. Plus, on top of that, the Giants, I don't see when they're going to be able to win a football game. But for the sake of this question, if you have the number 1 pick, first off, unless you're trading back to number 2, I ain't trading the pick. Unless the team's offering me like 4 first-round picks and like Pro Bowl caliber players, just a crazy offer, I'm not taking it, because you can't afford to miss on a quarterback. Landing your guy is important. So if you want to go back to number 2, I'm okay with that. But I would say in this year, it obviously depends where you're trading from. Because if you're a team that's trading from 9 or 10, it's going to look a lot different than 4 or 5. But even though this isn't a big quarterback class, I feel like they say that almost every year. There's going to be teams that are interested in the top QBs in this year's class. Let's go to new duels. Hopefully we draft Cam Ward. I'd be ecstatic if we drafted Cam Ward. Like, the amount of shows that I've made on Shedeur, the amount of people that are like, Mitch, why do you want Shedeur so bad? I thought you were a Cam Ward fan. It's not that I want Shedeur. It's the Raiders want Shedeur. And I want the Raiders to get a QB. I cover the Raiders for Christ's sake. But if it was up to me, I would take Cam Ward over Shedeur Sanders. And I've said that multiple times. Let's go to Tyler Davis. Thoughts on Hondo saying Josh McDaniels could be an option for the Raiders as an OC. I don't think that Hondo lies. And I had multiple people send me the podcast that Hondo said this in. And I'm not saying that Hondo is putting stuff out there that's not true, because he's just not that type of guy. He's a really stand-up dude. But what I do think is this. Hondo's also a content creator, whether he wants to admit it or not. And I think all he's doing in those words is trying to make content. Like, when you go look at a lot of these other people that try to make content on a daily basis, it's tough. And, I think sometimes it's funny where, you see certain content that goes out there all the time, and you can kind of guess where it's going to come from. When you hear somebody say Josh McDaniels could be in the running to be the next Raiders OC, I hope you hear that and you go, I understand the connection. I understand the connection between Josh McDaniels and Tom Brady. I understand the connection between, if Belichick and Brady are talking, could Josh McDaniels come in here? But let me be very clear. Josh McDaniels is not going to come back to the Las Vegas Raiders. And anybody telling you that McDaniels is going to come back to the Las Vegas Raiders is just simply pushing a narrative because they are trying to make content. And I'm not going to blame Hondo. There's at times where I hear a story and I go, that's never going to happen, right? We talked about the Raiders going out and getting Daniel Jones. I knew it was never going to happen, but I still wanted to make a show on it never happening because there are people that hear these things and they think it is going to happen. But let me be very clear. Josh McDaniels is not coming back to the Las Vegas Raiders, man. Come on, dude. We know that that's not going to happen. If Mark ever did that, can you imagine the outrage? I don't care if you drafted Shedeur. I don't care if Tom Brady's calling the shots. I don't care if you hire Mike Vrabel. I don't care if you hire Jesus Christ to be the head coach. If you're brought in Josh McDaniels as OC, you better go undefeated or you better win the AFC West, because I think that's the only way people would be even okay, kind of, with the fact that you brought that clown back. And I'm getting fired up even talking about it. So let's put the Josh McDaniels stuff aside. I got a really cool message on Instagram, and this is why I love doing this show, and this is why this show is proof to me every single day that this is so much more than a YouTube channel. We're building a really freaking cool community out there. But on top of that, when you guys lose somebody, I want you all to know that I feel like we lose somebody here because the nation is a family. So Free Fly Jedi, real talk, I appreciate you sending me this message. And we're going to get a little sentimental here because, hey, we're a family after all. So I received this message on Instagram from one of our loyal watchers, Free Fly Jedi. Mitch, this is Free Fly. My uncle was my reason for being a Raiders fan. He was my best friend and like a father to me. He lived in Texas, but we would talk on the phone for every Raider game, and on top of that, would just shoot the breeze a couple days a week. He passed away in his sleep Thanksgiving night at 47 years old. He was biggest fan and wore Raiders gear 7 days a week. Please help me keep his spirit alive. We're having a celebration of life later in January in Texas, and I'd like to show the family that he had a second family, Raider Nation. I'll send you a picture of him on your IG. If you could give him a shout out on the show, I'd love for his wife and his kids to see the support. Thank you so much. First off, I want to say RIP down below to our Raider brother, Carlos. That was the name, Free Fly's, uncle, basically dad to him. I'm a big-time Raider fan, but I'm a Raider fan because of the nation. And I always say, the nation shows me every single day how awesome of a family this is. So Free Fly sent me some pictures, and to Free Fly Jedi, to your family as well. I'm seriously, man, so super, super sorry for your loss. To Carlos's wife and his kids, I'll tell you this. I can't tell you how great this man is. I never met him. But when you get random people, when I say random people, Uncle Free Fly, to message me and to say, hey, can you do this? Think about the level of person that this guy, Carlos, has got to be to have somebody message say, hey, can you do this for me? I was told something, and I've said this multiple times on this show. You die 2 times in your life. You die when you actually die, and then you die the last time somebody speaks your name. I don't know if I'm going to be the last one that speaks Carlos's name, and damn it, I know that I'm not going to be. But carry on that, Raider Nation family. Carry on just the love that you have, and Free Fly, seriously, from the bottom of my heart, dude, I appreciate the heck out of you, and I appreciate everything that the nation always does. Carlos, much love above. Hopefully you're looking down. Hopefully you can bring us some good luck for the Raiders going forward.